In Bloodforge, you play as Crom, a nice, well-adjusted family man who goes out hunting for some food, but upon returning to his home village, he sees it up in flames, with all of his friends and family dead. So naturally, Crom goes on a quest for vengeance against the man responsible. You must enter the Bloodforge, slay a few quote-unquote gods, as well as a small nation's worth of minions in order to find and kill him. The story is overall simplistic, predictable, boring, and just plain badly written. It's like some 12-year-old's poorly done Conan fanfic. If your game's gonna have a story, it needs to be better than "Village burn, kill everything see." Though I'm guessing this game's target audience doesn't much care for the story. It's all about the combat for them. Well, sorry, that sucks too. The controls are also standard and simplistic. X for quick attack, Y for hard attack, left trigger to dodge. There's also healing items you can use, and a few special attacks. The most prominent of which is the Blood Rage, which is your typical temporary attack boost. You build up the blood gathered by killing enemies to enter a state of slower time, faster attack speed, and an optional move that will instant kill any non-boss enemy. What kills the combat is a combination of the graphics, which I'll get to in a bit, and the camera. I've dealt with a lot of bad cameras in my time. Hell, I got through Castlevania 64's camera. But this, I mean, come on! It's constantly shaking, constantly changing direction, and always too close in combat. It's impossible to have any idea what's going on when fighting multiple enemies, and makes what could have been mediocre combat nearly unplayable. As far as sound goes, the effects aren't bad. The weapon and impact sounds are spot on. The music, though, is terrible. Just generic drum beats. And the voice acting is just plain awful, though that can be partially blamed on the script.
The entrance to the Bloodforge is at the end of this gorge. The goddess awaits you.
Destroyer! You shall go no further!
And the graphics, well, quality-wise, they aren't bad for a budget title. Everything is sharp and well rendered. However, the problem is that everything is dark and dull. While that may be somewhat fitting for the tone of this game, the problem is that enemies are constantly blending into the background, making it hard and sometimes nearly impossible to see them. In fact, many times I think I'd be done with the group, only for one more guy I didn't see to be hiding against a wall. So while it may help set the tone they wanted, I think they should have made enemies and rocks look a little different from each other. I know a lot of people think you shouldn't expect much from an Xbox arcade game because of how low budget they are, and to an extent I agree. All I was expecting going into this was a decent hack and slash to while away a few hours. What I got was unplayable garbage with terrible controls, one of the worst cameras I've ever encountered, and a story so uninspired it may as well have been "You bad, me kid." And in fact, that pretty much is the story. It took me about 4 hours to get through, which, while normally would be way too short, was in this case way more than I should have had to endure. As the first game to go past the old size limits Xbox used to enforce, this sets a very bad precedent. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.
Huh!